Hello and good evening or good morning whenever you see this. I just wanted to share a healing song that I was given from the water 2 years ago this spring. I was told to go down to the water and meditate. This was during my healing journey and as I was finding love for myself, as I was finding out who I was and where I was to go, what I was to do with uh, this energy healing and all of the information that I had learned and all the hard work that I've been doing. Where was it going? So I was told to go to meditate by, my own guidance, my own the you call it instinct, I call it word from spirit. Some people call it instinct, but however, I was told to go down to the lake and put my feet into the water while the ice was still forming. I was like, wow, okay. So I did that. I went down there and down Simcoe, down at the south end of our island, and sat down there. And it was funny, because when I pulled my feet out of that water, they weren't cold. You'd think that, you would get a chill right up through your body, but instead I got an instant warm up through my body, like as if I was warm for the first time. And that, in a physical sense, was true because I used to be cold all the time. It seemed like I didn't have any, like my blood flow wasn't right for years. Cold hands, cold feet. I couldn't stand the cold. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I did the meditation. I come out, my hands and feet were so warm and it was still cold. It was early March. And I'm walking up the road and this tune was coming to me, and I just, I kept humming it in my head and humming it in my head, and I came home and just let it go, and then come around. It was just before summertime. It was before the Rama powwow, a couple of years ago. It was, I believe, the first powwow um, before COVID. Gee, that must be 3 years ago because we had COVID for 2 years. It's got to be 3 years ago this spring. So yeah, it was the last powwow before COVID. Um, because we had one last year, and that wasn't it. Anyway, I'm going through um, thinking about going to this powwow, and as I say, I get these instincts, these messages come to me, and Spirit said to me, you must go and look for a flute to play your song that I gave you. It's a healing song for the people, for their bodies and their minds and their spirits to heal. When they hear this song, they will heal. You too will heal when you play it. But you must find a flute that is tuned to 432 hertz with a note of E. And I'm like, okay, where am I going to ever get that? But along come the Rama powwow, and so I went to it, and just on the left hand side when you first enter, there was a fellow there with these flutes. And I went up and I walked around, and I looked at all of them. I didn't see anything like that, or I seen some that were marked, but I didn't see any that were marked what I was told to look for. And I was also told to bring at least $300. I was like, wow, that's an expensive flute. But so I talked to the fellow, I said, you wouldn't happen to have, a flute made specifically at 432 hertz with the note of E, would you? And he knew right away. He said, oh, you're the healer I made this for. I was like, what? And he reached down underneath out of a box and pulled it out and gave it to me and gave me a beautiful bag to go with it. And when I got home with this flute, I knew how to play it, and I've never ever played a flute. Not a, well, I played a fife back when I was about 14 in a marching band. I played when the Saints come marching in, but I never played a flute. I never played a tune on my own. So, and when I went to play it, the way I was taught to play a fife was right hand over left. And when I went to play it, I was stopped and said, no, you play it for spirit first, which is always in the reverse. So it had to be left hand over right, which was very odd for me, but I did it. And I did it as if I've done it 1,000 times. And I was like, wow, in awe of these things that are happening to me, and I've got nobody to share it with, and if I did share it with them, they probably think I was Looney Tunes because it just sounds so out there, so like, wow, are you kidding, So I played it, and whenever I felt like I was feeling like I needed some pain pulled out of me, since then I play it and it helps me. It does. The sound frequency, the frequency of 432 hertz is a healing frequency that tunes your body, and it forces it to let go of anything it is of a lower frequency. Now, when you have pain and anger and grief, um, for me it was self-hatred at the time, and hatred of everything and everybody around me. Um, I thought I knew what love was, but I didn't. Anyway, it helped to bring these feelings out. Not that I haven't, I did work. I've been doing this for 22 years, slowly working towards. It started in 1999 when I went to treatment up in Kenora. That's a couple of years after that, doing the fasts, the feasts, the getting my name, the becoming a sweat lodge carrier, and all of this, and then the Reiki master slowly came after that in 2009. It came oddly enough the same year that my dad took his life, um, but he was the one that I practiced on. He was the one that I suppose learned from and with the whole time until he left. But however, I wanted to play this for you because I know that we all carry stuff, and if I can be of assistance on a further level, on without having to actually see somebody, just to play this tune, then I'll do that. Used to be quiet. I've got a couple of dogs here just trying to be heard. Stop it, Mommy's playing a tune. Okay, no. Okay. that's the song that came, and that's the song I sing for you, and that's what I hope helps you to bring out whatever you need to bring out. And if you would like to come and see me, or you'd like to come and talk to me, I'm here for you. Okay? Miigwech.